So today I'm going to show you a technique which is quite useful in woodwork, which is how to thin a wooden board. As you can see, I have a wood plank on the floor. It is a wood board. It's about 3/4 inch thick, about 7¼ inch wide, and about 8 feet long. So what I need to do in this project is that the thickness at the shadowed region is too much, much more than what I needed. What I want to do is I want to thin the thickness in the shadowed region from about 1/4 inch to about 1/2 inch, or maybe a little below 1/2 inch. Let's say 3/8 inches or 3/8 inch. So what I'm gonna do is and you can see if I want to thin them. It's a little bit tricky because I do not want to thin the whole board. I only want to thin the shadowed region, okay, which is an incomplete rectangle. So I'm going to show you how to do it without using a planer. A common tool is a planer, but even for this kind of shape, a planer might be hard to use. So what I'm going to show you is I will use a table saw to do it, okay? All right, so let's move to the workshop and let me show you how to do it. So this is how I will thin the board or part of the board using a table saw. First, I will raise the blade. I'll raise the blade to the height of the region that I want to cut. So on this board, this part of which I want to thin is about 2 inch high. So I will raise the blade of my table saw to about 2 inch high. Okay. So I'll raise it to about 2 inch high, and then I will move the guide of my table saw such that the thickness of the board, will be precisely cut when I slide the board through. So I made a mark on my board somewhere. It's about 1/2 inch thick. So what I will do is I'll move my guide to cut about 1/2 inch of my board off. Okay, so this is the thickness I'll cut off. So as you can see, if I turn on the table saw and I slide the board through in this direction, then this region of the board will be cut off for a thickness which I preset on the guide. All right, so let's put it into working and see how it goes. Okay, let's see the result. You can see I just made a slot in the middle of the board. So what I need to do now is I will turn the board upside down like this way, and I'll make a cut in this direction here along this line. But I'll make a really, really thin cut such that it will only go from here to here, to the slot, okay? Then this shadow part will fall off like a strip. So first, I will lower the blade to that much amount I need, which is about which is about 1 centimeter. I'll lower it. Okay, and then I'll change the guide. So like this, okay? Just want to make sure that the blade goes to the Just want to make sure that the blade will cut precisely here. All right. So, and I said because the width here is about 1/4 inch. Sorry, it's about 2 inches. So I'll change my guide to 2 inches. Lock it. The blade height, I'll do a test run to see whether the blade height is too high or too low. So I just did a test run to see whether the blade is too high or too low. Now it cut right here, so which means the blade is still a little bit lower. So let me raise the blade a little bit. Okay, I think that's about it. So let me do another test run. Let's see. So now this test run shows that, yeah, I can precisely cut through it here. So I use this height and cut it through, cut the whole thing through. So now, this is the final product. You can see this is the original board. This side is original board, but I have this part beautifully thinned down into this strip. Okay, this strip just came off from the board. You can see beautifully, beautiful. Alright, let me show you another technique of thinning the board. As you can see in my project, I not only need to thin this part, I also need to thin this region. Okay? So using the technique I just showed you, to thin this region might be difficult because table saw is good at cutting something that is longer than its width. Okay? So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna show you a technique. What I would do is, I wouldn't slide the board through like this. Okay? What I would do is, I'll raise the blade to the height of the thickness of the region that, to the width of the region that I try to thin, which is I will raise the blade as high as this region. I try to thin. And then I will, instead of sliding through, I'll just drop it onto the blade. As you can see, once I drop it onto the blade will slice part of will get rid of one layer of the board. Okay, so let's see how it works. I have already set the guide to the proper position such that the blade, the left side of the blade will hit this left side of the board. So you can see once the blade spins, the thickness of the blade will be removed from the board. Now let's put it in working. So let's see the result. See, I'm able to remove one, layer of the board. But you can see it is still thicker than the depths I want. So what I'll do is I will advance the guide to the left, okay, to such that the blade will cut a new layer starting from, let me show you this way. So the blade will cut a new layer, which is here, okay? It will cut a new layer. That blade cut a new layer. All right, I will advance, because the blade is about 2 or 3 millimeters thick, I will advance my guide by 2 or 3 millimeters. Yep, that's about it. Okay, so let's fire up again. As you can see on the video and here, this part, it goes down in this direction, okay? It becomes a little bit thinner. All right, so I guess I'll do third time. I guess I can get to the perfect thickness I want. I just need to advance the guide one more time to 2 to 3 millimeters. All right, so let's fire it up and try again. Check the result. Now you can see this part which I tried to thin is pretty much as thick as the original part which I thinned earlier. It's a little bit over it, but I think that's fine for my project. It's good enough for my project. There's a little bit imperfection. You can see here. You can see this part, which is from the first cut. The first time the blade was to this direction, okay, to this down direction. All right, let's see the final product. As you can see, I have perfectly thinned this part of the board as I did for this long direction, along this long direction. So I think I pretty much got it. All right, thanks for watching. I showed you 2 techniques to thin boards. One is using the thickness of the blade itself to thin the board. And on this part, we did it multiple times to get this much distance we want to travel. Another is you can make one cut in this direction and another perpendicular cut to remove the whole strip out of it. Well, thanks for watching.